I think if you are on an expedition cruise, you will see a lot of things that you may not see if you travel by car, if you go by aeroplane, but you will for sure come to remote places where it's very difficult to come to if you don't go by ship. And you will be able to see wildlife at a close distance. You will be able to disconnect a bit from the modern world and the stress and everything civilization brings upon us. And it doesn't matter if you've seen the whales 50 times or 100 times, or you've been to this location maybe several times before, because it's always something new. My name is Heidi Norling. I'm from Sweden, and I'm captain on board the National Geographic Resolution. So I knew I didn't want to have the 9-to-5 job. I started working full-time for Lindblad in 2017, but I was the first woman captain on the blue water ship. We have a schedule on board the expedition cruise ships, but you have much more freedom. For example, if we do see wildlife, then you stop the ship and you bring the guests to the bridge. People can see birds or whales, and we drive close to these bird cliffs. We drive close to the landing sites because we want to have shorter time to come ashore. So it is more adventurous, but also more challenging. The National Geographic Resolution is mainly sailing in the Arctic and Antarctica, but she's also sailing the Northwest Passage and of course Svalbard and Iceland. The National Geographic Resolution is tailor-made for Lindblad operation. First, having the azipods, so that is pulling propellers. There are no rudders, and these two propellers at the stern can turn 360 degrees, so that you can actually spin the ship around her own axis. It's a 124-meter long ship, so it's quite impressive to be able to do that, or to move sideways with 40 knots wind. On the side of the ship, it's a very powerful ship with 4 engines. The PC5 class that we can go through 1.2 meter sea ice with also old sea ice intrusions makes us able to break ice and go further into ice, and that's why we are able to do the Northwest Passage, for example. The ship is built with the X-bow, so it is shaped like an axe, and with this shape the ship will actually handle especially head seas in a very different way. The ship will still be pitching, but when it lands in the waves, it's not going to pound hard into the wave. So it's a much smoother ride that actually does allow the ship to maintain speed, which is also more fuel economic. With the Polar Class 5 at the whole bottom of the hull is reinforced. It's a very comfortable ship, and for the guests to have those beautiful cabins, big windows in the cabins, in the restaurants, in the ice lounge, wherever you are, you have the perfect view. The ship has a very spacious bridge where we can fit at least 60 guests. The guests can always come to the bridge and see what's going on. You have a smaller crowd on board the ship. It gives more close contact between both the expedition staff, between the crew, between the bridge team, that we actually can get a personal feeling, a communication. It's about having more quality time for what we do off the ship and of course on board the ship as well. Coming from sea and approaching an area, it's always an excitement of not knowing what to expect, either from ice conditions or wildlife. I think that it's still a part of exploration. I will always love the sea, and I will always want to be close to the sea. When I say like, oh, I would love to be in a sailing boat, and my friends and family sometimes are, but aren't you fed up with the sea? And I say, you can never be fed up with the sea.